Hi everyone, I hope you're well. This is Selena. Welcome back to one of my videos. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name's Selena and I release a crochet tutorial every week. And this week I'm releasing this lovely, really easy to crochet jumper. I absolutely adore it. It features a heart motif on the front and it's extremely beginner friendly. The sleeves are also really nice and feature beautiful cuffs and the bottom too. So it's a very easy project. I will be taking you through this process step by step. The free pattern is as always available on my blog selenaveronique.com. This sweater comes in multiple sizes from size S to size 3XL, I think. So don't forget to check that out on my blog and the free pattern. And yeah, it's a really easy project. So to crochet this project, I used 2 skeins of this yarn. So this was a bonus bundle. I'm just putting that out there because I know that Feels Like Butter by Lion Brand Yarns comes in smaller in a smaller skein and a bigger skein, so I used 2 of the bigger skeins. However, I will be writing down, sorry if this is a bit complicated, but I will be writing down on my blog and in the down bar exactly how many skeins you will be needing if you are using the smaller skeins or if you are using the bundle bonus bundle ones, which I did, and I used 2 bonus bundle skeins. So this Feels Like Butter. It's a really lovely yarn. This came in a 590 yard skein. I used 2 and it's considered a medium 4 yarn. And I used a 5mm crochet hook for this yarn, and the shade I used is shade 156 Mint, and it's 100% polyester, and I absolutely adore this yarn. You will also be needing a pair of scissors and a tapestry needle, and that's it. So I will be talking in US terms and British terms will be in brackets. So I hope you enjoy this tutorial. So to begin this tutorial, I will be showing you how to crochet the front and the back, which are identical for this jumper. And so I will be showing you exactly what to do. So I'm trying to show you the front on camera, and I will be repeating the process with you for this front and back. So make 2 of what I'm going to show you. So to begin, make a slip knot, and again I just want to say that I will be crocheting size S, so for any other size just check out my blog and a free pattern. So once you've made your slip knot, you will be chaining 82. So 1, 2, 3. So I've chained less, but the principle will be the exact same, and I will be telling you exactly how many stitches you need and so on. So to begin, you will be counting 1, 2, 3, 4 chains from the hook, and in that 4th chain from the hook, you will be placing your first double crochet. So to create your double crochet, you will be wrapping your yarn around your hook, going into that 4th chain, pulling up a loop. You've got 3 loops on your hook. Grab your yarn, pull through 2 loops, and take your yarn and pull through 2 loops, and that's your double crochet made. And the first chain 3 counts as your first double crochet. And now we are simply going to be placing a double crochet into each and every chain across until the end of this row. So just go ahead and place a double crochet into each and every chain until you reach the end of this row, and I'll show you how to do row 2. So I've finished this first row. Obviously you should have 80 double crochets for size SM. So now for row 2 we are simply going to be chaining 3, 1, 2 and 3, turn your work, and this counts as your first double crochet with this first stitch. So we're directly going to be going into the second double crochet with a double crochet. So just go ahead and place your double crochet into this stitch and a double crochet into the next stitch and a double crochet into the next stitch, and just go ahead and place a double crochet into each and every double crochet from the previous row, and I'll show you how to finish off this row. Okay, so I've practically finished my row. I still have one stitch left to crochet, and that's the chain 3 from the previous row. That counts as a stitch. So I'm simply going to place my last double crochet of this row in the chain 3, like so, and this is what my row looks like. So now for the next row, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, turn your work, and this will be the beginning of our motif stitch. So for size S you will be double crocheting for the first 39 stitches. So just count 39 stitches including that chain 3 that we've just done, and just place 39 stitches in total, and I will be meeting you back once you've done that. So I've crocheted my number of stitches, however you should have 39 double crochets, and now what we will be doing is chaining 2, 1 and 2, and we will be skipping 2 double crochets. So skip 1 and 2 and go into that next double crochet here with a double crochet. So you've chained 2, you've skipped 2 stitches, and you've placed your double crochet into the next double crochet from the previous row, and now we are simply going to be double crocheting into each and every stitch across, and that should be 39 stitches because this is a symmetrical project. And don't forget the last stitch here, which is a chained 3 from the previous row, and I'll show you what to do for the next row. So I've finished this row, and I'm just going to show you the next row. So for the next row you will be simply chaining 3, 1, 2 and 3, turn your work, and this counts as your first double crochet for this row. And what we will be doing is placing a double crochet into the first 37 stitches. So you should stop your double crochets here, if that makes any sense. Obviously this is a much smaller example, but the principle is the same. So just go ahead and double crochet into the next into 37 stitches total, including this double crochet chain 3, and you will stop obviously 2 double crochets before this space, if that makes sense. So just go ahead and place 37 double crochets total, and then I'll show you what to do. Okay, so this is what I have, and this is what your project should look like. So now we will be chaining 2, 1 and 2, skipping these 2 double crochets here, and going into this first chain from the previous row. So we had the chain 2 from the previous row, so just go ahead and place a double crochet into that first chain 2, and then place another double crochet into the next chain, like so. So this is what you should have. We are going to be chaining 2, 1 and 2, skipping the next 2 double crochets and going into the next double crochet. and this is what you should have. So now I'm simply going to be placing a double crochet into each and every stitch across, including the chain 3. So this is what I have for now. So now for the next row, you are going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, turn your work, and just go into the next double crochet with a double crochet. And so what we are going to be doing now is placing a double crochet in the first 35 double crochets from the previous row, these 2 included, and I'll meet you back once you've done your 35 double crochets. So this is what I have, and now that you've done your first 35 double crochets, you are going to be chaining 2 and skipping these 2 double crochets and going directly into the chains from the previous row, placing a double crochet into that chain, placing a double crochet into the second chain, and then we are going to be placing a double crochet into the next 2 double crochets from the previous row, and then a double crochet into each chains, so 1 and 2, and this is what we have for now. We are going to be chaining 2, skipping 2 double crochets here, and going into the next double crochet. So this is what we have, and as you can see, we can see the heart motif starting to build up, and now you are simply going to be double crocheting into the next double crochets to finish off your row. So this is what you should have, obviously with longer edges. So now for the next row, we are going to chain 3, 1, 2, and 3, turn your work, and simply go into the next 33, so into 33 double crochets total with double crochets, so including this chain 3. So just go ahead and place 33 double crochets along, and I'll meet you back to show you how to do the rest of the row. So this is what I have for now. So now we are going to simply chain 2, 1 and 2, skip these double crochets, and place a double crochet into the chains, the 2 chains, 2, and into all of these double crochets here. So just go ahead and place a double crochet into these stitches. So just go ahead and place a double crochet into each of the center double crochets here, and into the 2 chain spaces, 1 and 2, chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2 double crochets and go into the next double crochet, and just finish off this row, and I'll show you the next row. So this is the row, and now for the next row it's going to be very easy. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, turn your work, and this will be a simple repeat of this last row. So go into the next double crochet and double crochet into each double crochet from the previous row until you reach this space. So this is what we have for now. So now we will be chaining 2, 1 and 2, skip that 2 chain space from the previous row and go into the double crochet just after that. So what we are doing is creating the same stitch over this with this row. So go into each and every double crochet until this chain space, and then once you reach this chain space, chain 2, skip this chain space and go into the next double crochet, if that makes sense. So you will have exactly the same motif on this row as the previous row, and then obviously place a double crochet into each and every stitch until the end of this row, and I'll meet you back for the next row. So this is what you should have, and so now I'm simply going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. So once you've chained 3, turn your work, and we are simply going to be placing a double crochet into each double crochet until this chain space. Then once we reach this chain space, we will be chaining 2, skipping this chain space and placing a double crochet into this double crochet here, and then I'll show you how to continue the pattern. Okay, so now that you've done this, this is what it should look like. You will be placing 3 more double crochets along this row. Sorry about that. So just place 3 extra double crochets. And so now we've got 4 double crochets right here. Chain 2, 1 and 2, skip 2 double crochets and go into the next double crochet. So we've created an extra space. And now we are simply going to be placing 3 more double crochets so that we have 4 double crochets total in this space, if that makes sense. So after this space, we've got 4 double crochets, chain 2, 1 and 2, skip that chain 2 space and go into the next stitch, and finish off this row with double crochets. So this is what we have now. So for the next row, chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, turn your work, and now we are going to be placing a double crochet. So for this row, we will be placing a double crochet into 36 rows. Obviously, once again, my sample is different, but you should be placing a double crochet in the first 36 stitches of this row. So I've almost reached the point that I want to reach. So if you crochet 36 stitches, you will have crocheted over this row, and then go into the chain 1, the first chain 1 here, place a double crochet into that, place a double crochet into the next chain here, and then place a double crochet into the next double crochet. So this is what it should look like once you've crocheted 36 stitches. And what we will be doing now is chaining 2, 1 and 2, skip 2 double crochets from the previous row and go into the next double crochet, place a double crochet into each chain right here. There we go. And then place an extra double crochet onto this double crochet from the previous row. I hope this is making sense. Chain 2, so we've got 4 double crochets at the center for this row. Place 2 chains, skip 2 double crochets and go into this next double crochet. And what we will be doing is finishing off this row just with double crochets. So place a double crochet in that chain 1, in the chain 2, and then just carry on with this row, placing a double crochet into each and every stitch across. And now you see we've got our full heart motif ready. So this is what you should have, obviously wider. And now what we will be doing is chaining 3, 1, 2, 3, and we are simply going to be doing 2 rows of double crochets, full double crochets. So turn your work, and now you are simply going to be placing double crochets all across this row until you reach the end of this row, and this includes double crochets on top of these chain spaces. So we want a full row of double crochets. So I'm just going to let you do that, and then I'll get back to you to show you the next rows. So this is what you should have for now. And now we are simply going to be repeating this row and have a second row of full double crochets. And what's going to happen now, I'm just going to show you. After you've repeated that row, that full row, you are simply going to repeat row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So row 1 through 7, so that you have the heart motif again, and then 2 rows of full double crochets. Again, just check out my free pattern on my blog celineveronique.com for more details. It will be clearer because this is all written down. So just go ahead and repeat all these rows. So a full heart motif plus 2 full rows to separate those 2 more times. So you need 3 heart motifs in total, and I will be writing down the exact number of rows on my blog. I'm trying to make sense here on camera, but it's not always easy. So just go ahead and check out my free pattern for the exact number of rows you need to repeat, but this is the process needed. So just go ahead and do that, and once you have the exact number of rows that you need, I will be meeting you back for this, for the end of this jumper. Okay, so this is what I have, and this should be similar to what you have too. Now I will be explaining the next rows. So to finish off this front and back, again, the front and the back are the exact same, so you should make 2 of what I've just showed. I hope this makes sense. So to carry on with this pattern, I'm just going to zoom in. There we go. You will chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. So you've chained 3, and this counts as your first double crochet, and you're going to go into the next double crochet with a double crochet, and you are going to be placing a double crochet for 28 stitches total for this size. So just go ahead and place another 26 double crochets, so you have 28 double crochets total, and then I'll show you how to do the next row. So this is what you should have: 28 double crochets at the top. Again, this could vary depending on the size. So now once you've done this, you are not going to carry on with this row, you are simply going to move on to the next row. So chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Turn your work, and this is what you should have. So we are actually shaping the neck at the moment. And so you are going to be placing a double crochet into the next stitch. So your first chain 3 counts as your first double crochet. And now you are going to be placing double crochets all along this row, including this chain 3 from the previous row. So just go ahead and place your double crochets, and you will be repeating that for an extra row. So that means that for so you're going to have 3 of those rows in total, if that makes sense, those smaller rows of 28 double crochets. So just go ahead and crochet 2 more, including this one. So you're going to have 1, 2, and then a 3rd row. And then once you've done that, I'll show you how to fasten off and do the other side. Okay, so this is what it should look like. So now I'm going to leave a long tail for sewing, if you can see, and then I'm just going to snip off my yarn and take it like this and pull this through the loop, and this has fastened it off and tied it. And now what we are going to be doing is the exact same on the other side. So on the other side you are simply going to be tying, attaching your yarn here like so. So just go ahead and attach it and turn your work. I'm just simply going to turn my work directly like this, and you are simply going to be repeating what I've just showed you, but with this side. So just pop your hook through, chain 3, and make your 3 28 double crochet long rows, so 2 and 3, and then just place all your double crochets along and just repeat what I've just showed you on this side, and then I'll show you how to make the sleeves. Okay, so for the sleeves you are simply going to be making a slip knot. Just go ahead and crochet a slip knot, pop your hook through, and you will be chaining 72. So just go ahead and chain 72. So 1, 2, 3. So I've gone ahead and chained less, but the principle will be the exact same. So for the first row you will count 1, 2, 3, 4 chains from the hook, and then that 4th chain you will be placing your first double crochet. So just go ahead and place a double crochet, go into the next stitch and place another double crochet, and just go ahead and place double crochets all along this chain until the end of the chain. So this is what my row looks like for now. Yours will be bigger, but the principle is the exact same. So now we are going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3. Turn your work, and this is what you will have, and this counts as your first double crochet that goes with this first stitch, and you will be going directly into the 2nd stitch and placing a double crochet into that, and into the next stitch and placing a double crochet into that, and just go ahead and place all your double crochets, and don't forget the last double crochet. So I'm trying to show it with one hand. Don't forget your chain 3 just here, which will be where you will be placing your last double crochet, and then you will be repeating row 2 for 20 rows in total. So you should have 1, 2, 3 and then 20 rows total for each sleeve, and you need to make 2 sleeves, and then I'll get back to you to show you how to create the rest of your project. Okay, I'm back. So you should have 2, a front and a back, so 2 identical projects, and then you should have 2 sleeves. So this is what my sleeves look like, and now I'm just going to show you how to sew your cardigan together. So to begin, I'm going to sew in my sleeve, so both my sleeves. So I'm just going to fold it like this and start sewing it on this side, of course. And to sew it in, I've got my loose end, and I'm simply going to be using the mattress stitch, which is a very easy stitch. I'm just going to zoom in. So it's just going in and out of each side, but obviously you can use whichever sewing technique you prefer. So I'm just going to use this technique. So I'm just going to let you sew in both your sleeves, and then I'll get back to you to show you how to sew your jumper together. So I'm back, and I finished my my sleeves in that I've sewed them in. So this is what they look like, and for now I'm just going to pop them here. Okay, so I've popped the sleeves here, and now what I'm going to be doing is sewing in this jumper. So to sew in this jumper, I am simply, so I'm just going to place, the front and the back on top of each other. And to carry on sewing in your jumper, you are simply going to be sewing the top here. So both, sorry, I'm trying to make sense of this jumper. So what we are going to be doing is sewing this part together, and then we're just going to sew the other, this part also. So I'm just going to let you do that, and then I'll get back to you to show you the rest. Okay, so I've sewed both the shoulders. So here we go. So that's both the shoulders here, like I showed you to do. And now I've already popped my needle and my yarn, and I am simply going to be sewing the sleeve onto my jumper. And for this sleeve, I'm going to pop the seam like here at the bottom, so facing down. And I'm also going to be sewing not the chain part, if that makes sense. So this is the original chain that we did when we created the sleeve, and it's a bit tighter than this part, which is the other side, which isn't the chain part but the stitch side. So to sew in this part, what I will be doing is starting here, so it's the front, and I'm going to sew the front of the sleeve with this, if that makes sense, together. So this side, I'm just going to go down. I'm going to sew the front of the sleeve and the front of the jumper together. And then I'm simply going to carry on down here, sewing both the front and back of the jumper, if that makes sense. And then we will have, but I'll show you later, the back of the sleeve to sew onto the jumper. So I'm just going to do this with the same technique that I showed you with the mattress stitch. So I'm just going to let you do that, and I'll get back to you to show you the rest of the jumper. So I've sewed the front of the jumper, as you can see. So now I'm simply going to flip this over, and I'm simply going to be sewing the back of the sleeve with the back of the jumper. And what I will be doing is just attaching my yarn right here, but I will be making sure that I secure this part, which is the armpit under the arm, quite well. Yeah, so I'm just going to do that now and sew in the back of the jumper, and I'm just going to let you do the same, and I'll get back to you to show you the rest. Okay, so I've done one side, I finished this side, and I'm just going to let you do the other side, and then I'll show you how to do the borders and edgings. Okay, so I'm back, and I've sewed both my sides, and now I'm going to show you how to do both sleeve cuffs and the bottom edging of your jumper. So for both sleeves and the jumper, it will be the same technique. I've already done one sleeve cuff, and I will be demonstrating the second sleeve, and this will be the same technique to be used on the bottom edging also. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you what to do. So to begin, I'm just going to attach my yarn to my sleeve like so. I'm going to make a double knot, and now I am going to be chaining one, and then I'm going to go into each and every stitch on this sleeve. So I hope you can see and create, well, not each and every stitch actually. I'm just going to go into, this counts as your first single crochet, and I am simply going to go into the next stitch and place another single crochet. I'm going to skip one stitch and go into the next and place a single crochet. I'm going to place another single crochet into the next stitch. So I'm trying to be as clear as possible. Basically, you will be placing 2 single crochets, skipping one stitch, 2 single crochets in this first row. So so we've placed 2 single crochets, we're going to skip one stitch, and we're going to go into the next one and place 1 single crochet, and then another single crochet into the next stitch, skip 1 stitch and go into the next. And I'm just going to let you carry on until the end of this row, and I'll meet you back for row 2. So I'm back, and I finished my row of single crochets. Actually, I've just slip stitched, but I'm going to take that stitch out. So I've placed my last single crochet, and I am going to slip stitch into the first chain one that I've previously done. So this is what the sleeve looks like. And now we are going to be, for row 2, chaining 1, 2 and 3, and this counts as a double crochet. I'm trying to show you on camera. It's quite hard with with the sleeve, but anyway. And so this goes with this first stitch, and we're going to go into the second stitch with a double crochet, and into the next stitch with a double crochet, and you are simply going to be making a double crochet into each and every stitch across until the end of this row. So I've practically finished this row. I'm simply going to slip stitch through the first chain 3. For the next row, so now you see we've got a neat row of double crochets, and now we are going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and this goes with our first double crochet, and we're going to go into the next double crochet here, but with a front post double crochet. So wrap your yarn around your hook, go into that stitch, pull up a loop. So you see, sorry, I went quite fast actually. Let me show you this again. So wrap your yarn around your hook, and instead of going into like we usually would for a double crochet, we're going to go from right to left, and we're going to go behind like this, the stitch. Take the yarn, pull up a loop, and pull up a loop through 2 loops and complete our double crochet. And this is a front post double crochet. Now we're going to go into the back. We're going to do a back post double crochet into the next stitch. So we are going to be alternating front and back post double crochet. So the next double crochet is a back post double crochet. And for that, like you see I've just done, we are going to go through the back like this, pull up a loop. So it's hard to do on camera. Pull up a loop and complete your double crochet like so. And this is a back post double crochet. Now we're going to do another front post double crochet, so through the front like this. And now a back post double crochet, so wrap your yarn around your hook and go through the back complete this. Now go and simply just alternate this. So just carry on. The next stitch will be a back post double crochet, so just go ahead and do that. And then the next stitch is a front post double crochet, and just alternate back post and front post double crochets until you reach the end of this row, and then I'll show you the next row. Okay, so I've done my last double crochet, and now I'm going to go here and place and slip stitch through the first chain 3 that I've done, chain 3, and this counts as my first double crochet. And now I'm going to go into the next stitch, which is a front post double crochet from the previous row, and I'm going to go in with a back post double crochet. So I'm just going to go in like this with a back post double crochet, and now the next stitch is a back post double crochet, so I'm going to go in onto that one with a front post double crochet, and I will be alternating front and back post double crochets from row to row. So the next stitch is a front post double crochet, so I'm going to go in with a back post double crochet, and then the next stitch is a back post double crochet. I'm going to go in with a front post double crochet. So just carry on doing that, alternating these stitches, and you will be needing 5 rows in total of double crochets, including the first row of double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, we're on the 3rd row of double crochets. So you need to finish this row and then create 2 more on top of that row, and then you will be slip stitching and fastening off, and do that on the other side. And you will also be doing this on the bottom edge, so in the exact same way with the exact same pattern, and then I will get back to you to show you the rest. Hi again. So I've practically finished my sweater. As you can see, I've done the bottom edging like I explained, and it's the exact same as the sleeves. There we go. So I'm really excited about how it looks. And now, just to finish off this sweater, we are simply going to be doing a very simple single crochet edging along the collar. So just take your yarn and pull this through like so, and attach your yarn, yes, and I'm just going to zoom in so you can attach it at any stitch, so that really doesn't matter. So I'm just going to zoom in a second. I'm just organizing my yarn. So yes, so you can attach it at any place on the collar. So this is the collar we're going to go around. So we're going to go around on this side and then all around onto here. So I'm just going to zoom in. Okay, so I've attached the yarn, and this is what I call the wrong side of the stitches, meaning that it's the row side, if that makes sense. So there's not a specific stitch to go into at this point. So just pull up a loop to begin with, and now we are simply going to be going into a certain amount of stitches, if that makes sense. So just go around and place single crochets as equally and symmetrically as you can. There is no specific amount of single crochets to pop onto your collar. However, I would suggest you don't make them too tight. Just try and space them out as best as possible so that it doesn't tighten your collar, if that makes sense. So here we go. At the front, we've got normal stitches. So just go into each and every one of those stitches, and then when you get to the side again, here where it's the row side, just space them out as best you can and just go around your whole collar, and then I'll show you how to finish off this row. Okay, so I've gone and crocheted around the whole collar, as you can see here, and I'm at the point here where I started and I did my first chain 1. So what we are going to be doing is placing just slip stitching through that first chain 1 here. So just go ahead and make a slip stitch and snip off your yarn and create a knot like so and pull through. And now we are simply going to be tidying up this loose end. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It was a lot of fun to crochet this with you, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up and to subscribe to my channel for a crochet tutorial every week. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.